Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the world's most powerful nations are no longer fighting over oil, territory, or even ideology, but over tiny slivers of silicon and a handful of obscure minerals with names most people can't pronounce. Yet these invisible components sit at the heart of our cars, our phones, our hospitals, our militaries, even the electricity that keeps our homes running. And right now, all of them are caught in the middle of the most important power struggle of the 21st century: a global chip war. A conflict where microscopic circuits decide national security and dusty minerals dug out of remote mountains determine who leads the next era of human progress. Today, I want to take you inside this battlefield, calmly, clearly, and without the noise, because the consequences affect every one of us, whether we're upgrading a laptop, buying a car, or just hoping the world avoids the next big economic shock. And before we go any deeper, if you find value in this kind of clear, no-nonsense breakdown of global events, feel free to like and share this video. It really helps the channel reach more people. Now let's unravel the fight shaping our future. The world is entering a new age of conflict. One fought not with missiles, but with technology and economic leverage. At the center of this clash are two things: microchips, the tiny brains behind everything digital, and rare earth elements, the special minerals that make modern technology possible. The US, China, and Japan have emerged as the main players in this struggle, and the tension between them is quietly rewriting global politics and economics in real time. On one side, the United States and its allies are building walls around the world's most advanced chips, determined to keep China away from the cutting-edge processors that drive AI, supercomputers, and next-gen weapons. On the other side, China is leveraging something even more fundamental: its near monopoly over rare earth elements. Minerals essential for electric vehicles, missiles, smartphones, wind turbines, and yes, even advanced chips themselves. And when Washington cut off China from super-fast chips, Beijing responded with a blunt message: fine, then no rare earths. Suddenly, Japan, one of the world's most advanced industrial nations, found its factories slowing down, its car makers scrambling, and its leaders quietly knocking on Beijing's door for access to the minerals that keep its economy running. This wasn't a diplomatic scuffle, it was economic statecraft, harsh, calculated, and incredibly effective. But to really understand the stakes, let's break this down in simple terms. Chips, semiconductors, are the nerve center of modern life. They're in everything: your phone, your TV, your car, your medical devices, your airplane tickets, your coffee machine. Everything. They process information at blistering speeds. They allow artificial intelligence to function. They allow your car to brake safely. They let satellites communicate. Without them, modern life collapses. Now, chips come in many levels: basic ones for everyday electronics, mid-tier ones for industry, and elite chips for things like AI models and supercomputers. The problem? Only a handful of countries, Taiwan, South Korea, the US, can make the advanced ones, and the factories cost tens of billions to build. Rare earths, on the other hand, are the fuel for this entire tech ecosystem. Despite the name, they're not rare, but they're very hard and messy to refine. Toxic waste, complex processing, enormous costs. Most Western nations simply didn't want to deal with it, so China filled the vacuum. Over decades, it built a machine: 70% of global rare earth mining and 90% of all refining. Think of it like this: the West makes the recipes, but China controls the ingredients. For years, this system worked, but geopolitics doesn't tolerate imbalance forever. Sanctions, the pandemic, and global rivalries exposed how delicate and risky these supply chains are. Now, countries are scrambling, factories are halting, prices are rising, and a quiet global panic is spreading. Why? Because whoever controls chips and rare earths controls the future. The origins of this chip war go back years. As China poured billions into AI, quantum computing, and surveillance tech, Washington grew nervous. The US feared a future where China had not only economic dominance, but military and digital dominance. So, in 2022, the US imposed sweeping chip restrictions, blacklisting more than 100 Chinese firms. They convinced Japan and the Netherlands, the countries controlling critical chip tools and know-how, to join the blockade. Together, they built a technology wall around China. But China had a countermeasure ready. In late 2024, Beijing began tightening exports of rare earth minerals to the US, Europe, and Japan. By mid-2025, those restrictions became even stricter. Suddenly, the world realized China's leverage wasn't about mining, it was about refining. No one else has China's capacity. Building alternatives could take a decade. Then the shockwaves hit. Japan felt it first. Its industries were thrown into chaos. Electric vehicle production slowed. Electronics lines stalled. Companies quietly warned the government that without rare earth access, they couldn't keep operating at full capacity. Japan joined US sanctions to support an ally in Nostra, but ended up paying the heaviest economic price. And this is a theme you'll see throughout this conflict. The cost of choosing sides is getting steeper by the year. But the impact doesn't stop with governments. Everyday life is feeling the pressure. Want a new car? Expect delays. Electric vehicles need rare earth magnets. Replacing a phone? Prices are creeping up. Buying a laptop? Some models are already backordered. Even household appliances are affected. Anything with a motor or microchip is vulnerable. And here's a hook that's hard to ignore. If China continues tightening exports and the US continues tightening chip bans, the green energy transition, electric vehicles, wind turbines, solar integration, could slow down dramatically. The world's climate goals may actually be at risk because of mineral politics. That's how interconnected everything is. Some of the most dramatic moments in this conflict happen quietly behind closed doors. Consider the Nexperia case. In the Netherlands, a Chinese-owned chipmaker called Nexperia suddenly found itself seized by the Dutch government after pressure from Washington. Then Beijing retaliated by banning the company's China branch from exporting chips. The Dutch owned the factory, but China controlled a key part of the supply chain. European automakers panicked. Many rely heavily on Nexperia's chips. Production lines slowed. Meetings were called. Emergency inventories were checked. In this war, companies aren't just companies anymore. They're hostages. Now, before we move deeper into the long-term future and what the next decade looks like, I'd love to hear your perspective. Leave a comment below. Do you think this chip war pushes the world toward more innovation or more fragmentation? Your thoughts help shape these discussions. Because the truth is, we're witnessing a messy, chaotic economic decoupling. The world splitting into rival tech blocks. Globalization is no longer smooth and effortless. Instead, countries are protecting supply chains like strategic assets. Export bans are becoming weapons, and economic rivalry is becoming the new normal. The future is a race. For artificial intelligence, quantum computing, next-gen networks, and secure supply chains. Whoever wins sets the rules for the next century, and nations know it. China is pouring money into building its own chip industry. The US is throwing billions at reshoring manufacturing. Europe is scrambling to revive rare earth mining and diversify suppliers. But rebuilding these capabilities takes time, years, even decades. Meanwhile, ordinary people feel the consequences. Higher prices, longer waits, fewer choices, and slower technological upgrades. Even long-standing alliances are strained as countries quietly ask themselves, can we afford to take sides? And this rivalry is only intensifying. AI depends on advanced chips. Next-gen military systems depend on rare earths. Quantum computing depends on highly specialized materials and hardware. Every breakthrough in these fields becomes a geopolitical weapon, and the global economy becomes more fragile with each escalation. So where does this leave us? We're stepping into a future defined by uncertainty. A future where supply chains are political, resources are strategic, and tiny components have giant consequences. The global chip war isn't just a tech story, it's a human story, affecting our jobs, our industries, our wallets, and our hopes for the future. And as we navigate this new era, we'll need resilience, creativity, and a clear understanding of the world unfolding around us. If you've stayed with me until now, thank you for taking the time to dive deep into this incredibly important topic. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It truly supports the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.